Hey, from Portugal. All right. My mom is Portuguese, so I'm Portuguese. Falas português? ETH to 15K. Let's go. Yes. All right. I'm about to go live with CVO Crypto, and I forgot to change the name of this live stream. Oh well. My lives are wild these days. Yeah, rep. I understand. What's up, man? What's up from Cali? Okay, I've lived in Cali before. I lived in Long Beach, California. Hey, Rachel. Hello, man. It's nice in these early stages of the live stream to see people I've seen before. So hello again to those of you. I know Hey, if you come back on my live streams in the bear market, we'll be able to talk. So we've got that going for us, right? Um, Enjoy this live with CVO. Yes, sir. I'll be going on live soon. FCL Fractal 10x at least. Thank you, Daniel Clark. Welcome back. Thank you, Honest Bee Gardening. Hey, Lola. Hello. 13 Highlander to 1. Coins I won't sell. Bitcoin, Ethereum, but then I won't sell some of my Chainlink or some of my Binance or some of my HBAR. When would you exit high cap altcoins? Probably January. Thank you, Jojo. You've been very kind. Thank you, Crypto Dip One. Opinion on taking profits into Link. Dot profits into Link. That's an interesting question. So, all right, listen, everybody. Again, I'm going to go live with CVO Crypto in a couple minutes. So I'm not going to be able to answer questions. Um, but Link, or so would I sell my Dot for Link? Link's a slow mover. Dot's scorching hot right now. I think I would sell a little bit for Link. So thank you. Me and CVO are helping a lot of people out. Yeah. Why is ADA not rallying? This is what Cardano does. It just stays like that, and then it pumps like crazy. So what do you think about HBAR? $2. Litecoin end of month 350, 400, something like that. Again, I'll be hopping on live with. Thank you, Crypto Weatherman. I'm almost as handsome as you are. Um, But yeah, guys, again, I'm going live with CVO Crypto in a few minutes. So, oh wait, no, you're almost as handsome as I am, Crypto Weatherman, because Crypto Weatherman's the second best looking guy on TikTok. And anyway, hello, Sambo, Fox Girl. I don't care about Fox Girl. ETH end of month prediction 5,500, 6,000 or something. You said ADA over quant. What's your target for quant? If I said ADA over quant, I think I would say not ADA over quant anymore. So I'm not going live with anyone else. You will know Ali. Sorry, I'm going live with CVO Crypto in like a minute. So say Mamo. When to sell Litecoin often, but I think it's going to peak in January. So Solana just flipped ADA on CoinGecko. Yes, sir. Shiba is done. Sold everything. I don't think Shiba's done. I wish it was, but I don't think so. So alt season this month, mini alt season. So yeah, Crypto Weatherman's on vacation. What's he doing here? All right, I am gonna hop on with CVO Crypto. Yeah, just here, Smoke Sun. I'm going on with CVO Crypto right now. So add host. And here we go, me and CVO, as soon as he accepts. So, oh, same
What's up, buddy?
joke. What's up, man? So I
How
was
are you,
reading.
man?
I'm good. Good day so far today. Was hoping, that after we got over 64, that we would pump higher for Bitcoin. I'm always going to talk about Bitcoin, but it's like
Right.
everything else. I've been talking about how a lot of these cryptos are sweeping their all-time highs but not breaking through, and what I think they need is the catalyst, Bitcoin, to be the catalyst that breaks them through, or if Ethereum is going to pump, for Ethereum to drag Bitcoin up to its all-time high, and then I think a lot of those are just going to go wild. So
Yeah.
um, you think it's
No,
something
man, for
similar?
sure. I mean, it's night and day versus. I mean, we've been doing this little Tuesday mashup now for like this is the third week. So,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, it's so funny to look back and I can't remember what the main dynamic was, but it was pretty much that we were about to break all time highs for
Yep.
Bitcoin. That was before the 65K hit, and then the next day we actually hit through that, and then the next week we were like right about, where Ethereum was kind of rushing them, and then now, both of them have punched past it, but they're not breaking really much higher than that. But yeah, it's very, very interesting, because for Ethereum to not have broken that all-time high until November is
Yeah.
very, very peculiar to me, because we were looking at the, possible early breakout, whatever, a few weeks ahead of whatever, what most, I don't know even if it's most or not, but at least you and I, we were talking about, November time.
Yep.
I was kind of aiming more for, some sideways action out of Ethereum while Bitcoin kind of rallied, and we haven't gotten that. But once again, I'm happy to be wrong in that aspect. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
it's been epic, man. The the altcoins have been doing very well. When we first got that October 1st breakout last month, and probably about, what was it, 3 or 4 days, it was just sheer Bitcoin action. Everybody was panicking, thinking that the altcoins weren't going to move
Yeah.
at all, and what happened, man? People dumped their altcoins, jumped into Bitcoin at 67K, and then you had this great altcoin. I mean, for the most part, not every single one, but like you had all these small caps exploding. I mean, at least 25 coins on Coinbase have been upwards of over 200%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's massive for Coinbase. I mean, those are all mid and large caps, right? It's not the main ones like everybody's Chainlink and all their big boys, but those that already kind of ran through the year. But we've been seeing some great altcoin moves, man, and it's just kind of like the slow grind up. Bitcoin not breaking that all-time high yet is very interesting too, but at the same time, the second that does happen, man, the FOMO factor around the world is going to be so extreme. I don't even know if you and I are prepared to see what is going to happen here, right? Like, it's just like we kind of projected and we think about it, but you got all these major companies now pulling out NFTs out of thin air,
Yeah.
and you got the metaverse with Facebook launching all this stuff. You got all these things just coincidentally being launched at Q4, right? Right as all the hype and all this needs to be kind of instituted into the market. You got all this marketing that's coming out of nowhere for everything.
Yeah.
So it's all the hype is there.
Maybe we'll hear news that China's unbanning TikTok or something like that, or not TikTok, crypto, and and we'll go higher from there. Which I just please China, if you're listening, you might be. Just keep with the crypto ban there. I would appreciate that. Stop messing with us. So, anyway, yeah, I'm just man. So, oh man, there was something that I read on one of your Telegram groups. I think I'm only in one of them, but you told me about somebody who, or you mentioned somebody who turned what, like $13,000 into 300 plus thousand on KuCoin with your trades. Is that right?
I mean, pretty much, man. Oh, and it took first off, somebody in here said, "Man, this guy's got 5 kids, puts out X amount of content per day, and still has a full head of hair. Props." So respect to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. And that was the thing with the Ku. Man, there was some moves made on KuCoin
Yeah.
over the last. It was probably a month at this point, but when we were talking last, well, I'll get to that. But yeah, so this young lady, man, she, single mom, whatever, she reached out with her portfolio, and she showed me her portfolio when she first joined, right? And it was roughly like 13 grand. And it was actually back right after May. So, I mean, it's a little,
All right.
she kind of hit a lucky patch on some things. And then she took that money that she, a lot of it came from Shiba, actually. So she ended up 2Xing right before September, her 12 or 13,000. She came in right after May. So she had a little bit of a different mindset than most people, because she didn't go through the crash, right? She was coming in at the lows, and
All right.
I was, feeding to everybody was like, buy the fear, buy the fear, buy the fear, don't sell. This is when you want to pick the stuff up. So she actually had the privilege of coming in with fresh cash. She wasn't already in the market, so she picked up. She easily, 100% moved by September, maybe 200. I think she walked into September with 36 grand. And then we sold out, right? When Ethereum hit 4K, the majority of the people
That's
in my
right.
trading community, we sold out at 4,000. And we scaled back in at 27, 28, 29, $3,000 Ethereum. We were looking for a little bit lower targets, but we didn't hit them, and that's fine. So from there, she also took a big piece of that and threw it in Shiba while it was just flatlining, right? And it 6x'd in October. So
Yeah, yeah.
So she, now she was up to $110,000, right?
Man.
Just kind of not necessarily all luck. So she kind of 3x'd or whatever she put in there, or whatever it may have been. She didn't do her whole portfolio, but anyway, she walked out middle of October. Now she's at 120 grand, and then she moved it to KuCoin. and dumped it. And she just, man, she hit two of these like, 100% moves, 200% moves, took one loss, then jumped into this one, and then comes out with like 400 grand, man, at 2 months. It was, she had the guts though. Most people wouldn't have felt comfortable moving stuff around. A lot of people wouldn't have sold their marriage projects, right? So she didn't get married to nothing. Like she did it right, man, and it was big. So it's I shared that with the group, not to kind of just show some inspiration, right, on how things could go. A lot of people didn't obviously perform that way because they get stuck in the idea of holding to one project maybe or whatever. But anyhow, she did really well. She went a lot more riskier than most people would go, right? Because she was putting her whole portfolio into low cap, high risk stuff. But she's back to Coinbase, and she's just chilling in something that's realistic, not realistic, but safe, I guess, safer. But she's gonna 10x, man. She's gonna come out a millionaire on 12 grand in the last 2 months.
That's right.
So, epic, man, epic.
Man, yeah. So I've been I just been thinking about some random things. I mean, it's just things I've been talking about on my YouTube channel or whatever else. And I'd love to just bounce those things off of you, and you run from there. I think I know your answers, but maybe I'm just gonna get some reassurance. Are you familiar with the blockchain backer? Yeah, I talk about him a lot.
I already know what you're gonna ask.
Okay,
now, so,
all right,
which is great, which is good. This is a good conversation piece. I've actually been touching on this the last 2 days on my live streams in the morning. So
yeah, okay.
Because actually, I got a whole thing on that. So yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'll share my thoughts. I mean, so it's oh my goodness, like. So I like his analysis on a lot of things. I mean, I like his use of fibs, but you use fibs a lot more than I do, so you can comment on his use of Fibonacci retracement levels. But for those of you who don't know who the blockchain backer is, really big XRP guy, and he called the top in April. We'll give him credit for that. He called the bottom in July. Also give him credit for that. He thinks that Bitcoin is going to peak at 72,000, between 72 and 85,000, and altcoins are going to go crazy after that, and that's going to be the end. I in my YouTube video, my YouTube channel yesterday, I called him kind of like not the nemesis of the month, because I really like him. I think his analysis is great. But last month we had people saying that Bitcoin peaked in May, that it was a dead cat bounce, not a dead cat bounce. That was Pablo. Never mind. We had a bull trap. No, whatever. Anyway, yeah, we had a bull trap, and that was the second peak at $53,000 in September, and that we were going down to the teens. Blockchain backer, for some perspective, he thinks that we're going to 72 to 85K, and then we're going to go down to the teens in the bear market. But his timeline is bizarre. It's not 4-year halving cycles at all. It's based off of other things, which you might know more about. But I think his timeline is 2023 or 2024. We're going to bottom out in the teens somewhere. And then the next bull run will peak in, I don't know, 2026 or 2027. I don't know if you've heard that perspective, but it's based on his timeline of all of this. I'm just I can't make sense of it. But he has such a big following, and I get these questions all the time that I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, while I plug something in that got unplugged.
Yep. So I've been covering this a lot recently because the big thing. Okay, so for anybody new that's watching right now, I have a very different outlook on the crypto space, and not in the sense. So I'm an active trader. I run a trading group, right? So just to put that premise out there. So I have a totally different outlook than a holder, which is great because Alex is more so of a holder and dabbling in trading, whatever. So I don't know. I think that's kind of how we collaborate pretty well. But at the same time, we are also, dynamic in the idea that, I base my analysis a lot on the 4-year cycle. I don't personally look towards on-chain data, but I do see it. And I mean, a lot of it makes sense. And I look towards other people that are better at analyzing that than I do. and not just like inflows and outflows, but like actual indicators, indicating tops and bottoms and whatever. So pair that with that, and the psychology of the market. And what the psychology of the market to me means is, I started this in 2017. I ran, I got in early on 2017, and which at the time is still pretty late, right? That's like getting in at 2021 January, right? You were coming into a $30,000 Bitcoin, right? That wasn't necessarily early. That wasn't bear market early. But in 2017, got in like January, February. Got Litecoin. Was my number one coin. Coinbase was only a 3-coin, thing at the time, and I held Litecoin pretty much. I didn't trade, I didn't do anything. I just kind of held Litecoin all the way through. And basically, killed it, crushed it. I mean, just, imagine holding Solana from basically January to now. And essentially that's how my 2017 roughly looked. So at the end of that, blah, 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 blah. So at the end of that, we got to a part of the cycle. It was really hyped. And just like it is right now, you got all this stuff kind of coming out of nowhere. In the middle of the summer, you had none of this marketing and all that and all this. And then at the very end, when everybody thought, we were going to continue, go on forever, we took a 90% plunge forever, what it felt like. And what I bring that up for is that alone wrecked me, right? I went all the way back. I had X amount in this unrealized portfolio, right?
Yep.
Life-changing amount. My wife doesn't even know how much that we got up to. Like I'm embarrassed to tell her, right? Like that's how bad, like that's how big it was. That's how greedy I got back in the day. And just unknowledge, right? I was just a piece of the herd, part of the herd, right? So just following blindly to the Reddit posts and the Twitter and the, anything and everything. So what I bring this up for is that that like made me determined after I lost everything, basically, to figure out like what did I do wrong? Where did I make a mistake? Mm-hmm. What made this market what made Ethereum drop 90% in 2018? What fundamentally changed? What was the difference? Blah 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 blah. So that's when I realized it, 4-year cycle. Once again, it's a supply shock initiated by the Bitcoin halving cycle. Yep. You run from these extremely low bear markets to these extremely high, bull runs. And the people, to me, this is my theory, my analogy, right, is that the ones that pick up this is a brand new asset class. First of all, it's 12 years old, right? It's not the stock market. It's not got 100 years of data behind it to support resistance and all this and all that. So right now it's a gold mine, right? We're literally digging up oil right now. So slowly we're getting increasingly higher in value as time goes on. But as you've noticed, we've had peak after peak where there's a lull where nobody's interested in it. Then there's right at the end when it gets really exciting, and basically the people who buy back here offload their bag to the people right here, and it drops 90%. They get bored, they dump it, they panic sell at the bottom. These guys pick it back up, and they do it again and again and again, slowly pricing out the little person, because the little person only cares about the now. So they're trying to get rich quick overnight, time and time again. And once again, I was that person back in the day. Don't get me wrong. It happened to me too. So that's why I'm so passionate about trying to put this information out there so that people don't get stuck in it, but whatever. So long story short, that's my ideal set on this. And my biggest thing right now is preparing people for the 4-year cycle ends this January, right? December is the top for Bitcoin, traditionally, historically, analytically speaking. December 4 years before this December was 2017. Bitcoin topped. 4 years before that was 2013. Bitcoin topped. Exactly 1 year later, each time is the bottom. No reason to believe that's any different right now. So with that being said, it's going to be the most confusing time going forward right now, because once again, we have so much information. It's analysis paralysis at this point, because in 2017, I had nothing. I had only the Shiba shillers, right? We'll call them that, like just the people who just come out when everything's pumping and get everybody pumped and buy the top. Like that's pretty much the only kind of information that was around. And I'd spend all night running through Reddit. It's just people, just the normal person just posting anything, and I'd read it. It was hopium. Now you have actual people that went through this stuff. You have the social media platforms that actually allow people to have a platform to speak on these things, but you still, nobody knows what this is going to do. So you have my kind of viewpoint, right? Where it's that, I think you agree with it to some degree, right? Maybe not the exact target. I know you're looking at 200K Bitcoin. So 250K Bitcoin by December. December was the only part I've somewhat kind of rallied around, because originally I wasn't dancing around the idea of maybe a link. maybe a lengthening cycle this time, like last year, and then that broke. That analogy broke. That analysis broke back in May. I had to scrap it, and I was like, all right, this is a
Yep.
4-year cycle, hands down, blah blah blah.
Exactly.
So once again, thinking of this, there's a lot of people now. 2017, we had nobody talking about a bear market. I can assure you that I never heard the word bear market until May, in the bear market, right? 6 months in, that's the first time I even heard it. We had nobody looking at data because we really didn't have too much at the time, and and even now, if you Google or search on YouTube, anybody putting up content in 2017 for Bitcoin, there's nothing. There's like one guy I found in
Yeah.
September, and he put up a video and he was like, I think Bitcoin's going to top around $5,000 or this, and that's it. That's it. Nobody else, right? Because everybody else was shilling meme coins and all these things that got them sued at the end, right? So you had actually major 200,000 follower people. They all got pulled, like Crypto Nick and all those guys for shilling BitConnect, basically, right? So at the end of it, they all got pulled. So that was kind of the world we were in too. But where I'm getting at is that now you have a lot of people that are directing you at one of like 5 scenarios. And one of those is coming up at this point, right? So now, the $80,000 top is one of them. $65,000 top was another one, right? So that was a big idea even before we got there. That was where a lot of people were aiming and pointing their guns, saying that was going to be the top. So when we hit that mark and we had a big pullback, that's why there was so much confusion around it, because somebody somewhere said it for 2 months in a row. So then as soon as it happened, it's like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. We're jumping on his bandwagon. He's got to know what's happening next, right? So that happened. And now we run into the next issue is that 80K, which is blockchain backer, essentially, he's the number one name that gets brought up. I'm sure there's others that agree with him to some degree. But 80,000, 70,000, whatever, is his target. And he has reason being behind it, whatever. And what I actually have been doing, because ever since that has been coming up, I've been looking at, certain scenarios of it. Because last time we spoke, I was looking for maybe a run up to 100K before Thanksgiving, right? We were looking for like a run up to 90, 97, right at 100, a pullback, and then whatever. So I redid some things, and it was also after October ended here, and I'll actually pull that up here in a second. But I could see 100% now that, if we run up in the next week or two, a major target coming up is $83,000, right? So, and then if we, kind of not redo it, but like it's not based on the prices or the percentages of how much it is, but it's like on the fib levels, right? So if we were to hit 180, and I'll pull this up and show everybody here in a bit, but just if we hit $83,000 in the next week or two, that might be that level where I'm expecting that 30% pullback from, right? So if that occurs, how confusing will it be to most people to think that that's the end of the market, the top of the market, right? Because of how much emphasis he's put on, which I enjoy blockchain backer. First off, I'm not, this is just the great part of this whole thing is that there's so many different views and different data points that go into all this. So it's really cool to have somebody with an opposing view. But he's just looking out for the little guy too, right? He's also really, really cautious. He tries to, make sure that nobody gets wrecked. So that's one thing to know about him. The other thing you mentioned in the beginning, right? He's a big
XRP guy. Oh, my bad.
Because
you've gotten banned for that. I'm sorry. Wait, let me just throw out the disclaimer. I love XRP. I love you XRP people. You're not insane. XRP will go to $10,000 and all your wildest dreams will come true. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the first part of that story is, it starts off with he's a big SEC coin guy, right? So we see how that project has developed this cycle too, right? So I mean, it's things change, and once again, everything I say too could go out the window by all means. But when he came up with that, it was interesting. And at the time, I think he originally stated that a long time ago, but before we were really close to it. Now we're close to it, so now it's getting brought up. And you know what? I'm going to show it because it's going to make sense for what I'm going to say here. Is that, and I showed this for anybody. This will be on. I'll put this on YouTube afterwards. But Tech Dev, you know him, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, I really like him.
Okay, I love tech dev. I don't know
Yeah.
who the dude is. He showed up out of nowhere,
Yep.
and I feel like he's my spirit animal, man. Like I want to go out to dinner with this guy because everything he puts up, I was just like, Jesus, dude, he's me. All right, so I guess how do I want to do this? So what he put up actually kind of sparked this idea, and he was showing how like I'll just show it. So I give a little credit to tech dev first off.
All right.
So it's not just me coming up with all this BS. I'm dancing around an iPad here, so just so you know.
All right.
So basically, what we saw in 2017, which once again, nothing has to happen the exact same way. We're looking at a different Ethereum breakout. We're looking at all these things that's a little different this time. So, but in the macro picture, like day to day, things are looking a little different. But as we're like looking back in a macro scale, this is the daily time frame for Bitcoin, right? So, and we talked about this last week where I was looking at this time frame and expecting like, a little pullback from, I was looking at this area more so and being like, okay, this little pullback was kind of maybe where we were when we got that pullback at 67K. And maybe we'll see a brief little new all-time high, get another pullback by the end of October and just kind of go along with the idea with Plan B's October 63K close, whatever. And then we'd have this massive rally up here towards like 100K. So I pulled this like fractal and I threw it over, but I really didn't like overthink it at all. So I just, because like I said, it was just an idea. But TechDev posted something that I was like, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. So he posted something along the lines of like the date of October 20th. So right here in 2017, October 21st, 20th was when we topped for Bitcoin for the month of October, right? So I'm going to take that and I'm going to do swing this to the swing low over here from September, and I'm going to drag this high, this fib level. So this is our top right here, October 21st, 20th, whatever. Remember that date because it's literally the same day we topped this year for October. And then you'll notice up here, this 1.618 is like the number one target that you'll see leverage traders and major traders taking their profits at most of the time. And so this is a pretty big target level to watch for. And it's just so happens that that's exactly where we came up to in 2017. And then we got this 30% pullback. Now, this is the middle of the month, so it's not the end of the month. And then from there, we topped. We had this little tag right here. And then the 30th of the month, we actually came up and we closed it right at this 2.272, right? So it's interesting enough because we were also talking about the Plan B scenario, right? Where Plan B is looking at a 98K November top or whatever, November period. So I want to reiterate this real quick before we go over to the current price action is that 20th of October was our top for October. We rallied up to this 1.618, a 30%, it doesn't even matter, a pullback to the 786. And then we closed at the 2.272, right? So now we're going to look at today's price action. Not that one. And maybe not that one. This one's good. All right. So you got this bull flag here, right, which a lot of people were looking at, just for one example, right? So I went over this earlier today too. So to get the measured move of a bull flag, you shoot that up to the top right here. You come out to where we bottomed at. Now this pulls up right at $83,000, which is interesting, right? So that's first thing, and that's kind of right around his target base. Second thing, that's just a random target, right? Just for where we're looking at in general. Now, when I just talked about for the 2017 market, October 20th is where we topped in October. So right here, October 20th, right? From there, I'm going to draw the fib retrace, right? So from there, we rallied in November to the 1.618. Look where that lines up with. Boom, $83,000, right?
Yep.
Then we had a 30% pullback to this 0.786, middle of the month. Not the end of the month, middle of the month. So right here, if we see something like this, that is going to put Plan B's what's the name? Blockchain back, on point, and this is going to shake up a lot of people. Now, the good thing is that what I talked about with the other guy, Debate Crypto the other day, right, was we were like, regardless, the altcoins are going to be moving. They're going to be rallying anyways. There's always that like blow off that month later, 2 weeks later, whatever for altcoins. So this is where I've been talking about how I think people are going to sell too early. Because what will happen is the altcoins will be exploding regardless. We get this pullback here. This is not a normal pullback in Bitcoin where everything in the altcoins doubles as far as that goes. This is where altcoins actually will eat up all these profits profits from Bitcoin will move into
Yep.
the altcoins, and then they'll explode. And what'll happen is we'll get like two weeks of just massive 200% movers, 300% movers, this and this, and people will start selling their altcoins thinking that we're done, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when that happens, and that's fine. If you're in profit, that's amazing. You're good. The problem I see is that people are going to buy back in at a higher price, and this is why, right? So what we also saw in 2017 was we slowly crept up from here over 2 weeks, and we closed out that month at this 2.272. We're right at 100K, right? So if we come in at 98, that's Plan B's freaking target once again, right? Something that we could see totally happening. And then one thing I like to point out the most to a lot of people is that, so just picture people sell out their altcoins like right here, because the other thing is people are going to be looking for a dead cat bounce, which is basically where we come up to like this level, we don't break the all-time high, we fall back down. People just be really nervous about this time. This is just all I'm getting at. And then I think they'll miss some of their altcoin bags if they sell it early, because you'll be talking about another 100 or 200% moves that you'll be missing in the altcoins. Just random side note at that. But yes, for blockchain backer, I think that this is a possible outcome right here, and then this is going to be very, very confusing to a lot of people. And that is kind of what I see. You know, if we see something like that, that's kind of where I imagine we get to, if that makes sense.
Makes a ton of sense. And yeah, for a few days, blockchain backer is going to look like a genius. It's just, I mean, there's certain things that it's just, man, what am I thinking? There's things that I wish I would have communicated to the guys last month who were the bears, who, you know, one of them, Inverse Bull, actually deleted his Twitter account, which I found hilarious. And it feels like the same thing's happening again. And there's always going to be some person who is going to be saying that one different thing. Except, you know, December, I think we're all going to peak and that'll be the end of it. But, you know, at that time, there'll be some person who's like, no, Bitcoin's going to $1 million. And then, you know, that'll be the new nemesis of the month. So
Nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to call him. I mean, I like the blockchain backer.
Good.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But there's just, you know, in July it was people like Pablo who were calling for Bitcoin to go to $20,000, and it was just like, you are operating out of how Bitcoin in its young existence has functioned. You are breaking rules that Bitcoin has consistently followed, and it's another scenario here where with the blockchain backer where I just feel like he's breaking rules. He's breaking rules that Bitcoin is just, it's in many ways it's extremely consistent. And so somebody commented while you were talking, somebody commented on my stream saying that you can't go off past performance. I am so tired of people saying that. And there's one guy who I flipped out on, you know, in comment section of one of my videos, and I think he said this multiple times. Repeat after me. Past performance cannot guarantee future results. And it's like, there is a spot in my mind where I can agree with that. Like, we can't rely 100% on past performance, but the reason why, you know, I feel like you have been very accurate, and for me as well over the last few months, is that I have come to trust past performance a lot more over the last few months than I did earlier in this run. You know, earlier in 2021, I wasn't really paying as much to past performance. Now I'm paying attention to it, and I'm seeing very consistent things. I'm seeing the July performance being what it was. That's when things turned around, and that's when we bottomed out, just like in 2017 and 2013. I'm seeing August being a consistently good month, September being a consistently poor month, October being a good month, November being a good month, and I'm going off of that. And so, like, and I can't stand it. You know, there's people offering too much praise to you. They talk to me about you, but to me as well. And it's just, I'm going off of what I think is the most consistent thing, which is
the past.
Yeah, that's it. That's past performance. That's all I was going to say.
I was going to say, I mean, so as far as, you know, once again, technical analysis, right? Like that is a loaded word, because there's a million ways to view, trade, whatever, a market. There's a million different indicators you could use. I don't even use, you know, I see somebody else's analysis sometimes, and I'm like, holy, I don't even know what that indicator is, right? Like, it just, there's so many different things. But at the end of the day, it's somebody that's taking information, previous information, right? Current and previous information, and, you know, judging what is a possible outcome based on what we have seen happen before. You know, Crypto Weatherman, I love that guy. And what I love about him the most is his name, right? Because I live in Florida. Once again, a hurricane's coming our way. I can immediately tell you what to expect at the grocery store, at the gas station, at, you know, work, and blah, 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 because I've been through them. So we've seen it in the past. I've done this 5-6 times, and not everyone is even remotely similar in the small scale, but in the macro elements, it's you know you're going to be out of gas, you know you're going to be out of blah, 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 you know work's going to get, you know, you're going to have to pull all the stuff in the house, in the building, or blah, 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 blah. Like, it's you got to get the plywood, you got to do this. You know that stuff, and you can expect it. At least you expect to be out of gas, you expect to be out of water at the grocery store pretty quickly, because that's what happened in the past. I remember it from last time. I can look back and see. So it is funny when, you know, it's the stock market deal. I feel like that comes heavily from the stock. I know it comes heavily from the stock market, and it's one of those things to me where when people in the stock market tell you one thing, it probably means to do the exact opposite, right? Like, it's just like when they, you know, it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Past performance is very important in my opinion. So, and whoever is in my chat, I must have said Tech Dev's name wrong, so I apologize. But Tech Dev on Twitter is
TECH space DEV.
Yeah.
I would strongly recommend that you follow him. Anyone listening, I want to answer a question here. Don't get too used to this, people in my live stream at least. But I've heard your thoughts on this. I want to share my thoughts, and then I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Ray Awad, can you guys please explain how we can get enough volume to push Bitcoin to 200K or 250K, which is your prediction? That's a lot of money. And so I want to answer this first. I want to talk about a couple things. Illiquid supply is at an all-time high. It keeps on rising. And so what that means is that there is a supply crunch on exchange. There's a supply crunch in general, but the amount of crypto available, the amount of Bitcoin available on exchanges is decreasing at a good pace. It is continuing to decrease. The amount of Bitcoin available that people are actually moving is going down. That means that it actually takes less money injected into cryptocurrency, into Bitcoin, than you would think. I know a lot of people. All right, Bitcoin's a little over $1 trillion market cap right now, and to get to 250,000, for example, that's a little over a $4 trillion market cap. And so a lot of people in their minds, they're thinking, we need $3 trillion to get Bitcoin to a $4 trillion market cap. And that's not true. It's actually not even close to true. If we had people buy $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin right now, the market cap for Bitcoin would be off the charts. I mean, the price of Bitcoin would be so ridiculously high. I don't even want to try to venture a guess in that, but it would be so high. I read a Bank of America article an article that was basically, some quants at Bank of America. This was a few months ago when Bitcoin's illiquid supply was lower than it is now. They estimated that it would take $9.3 million to move Bitcoin's price 1%, or $93 million to move Bitcoin's price 1%, which means that to move it 100% would be about $9 billion. $9 billion to double the price and market cap of Bitcoin. That is not unachievable. That is actually very achievable. So how much more to triple it, et cetera? So your thoughts?
So, and I agree with that. Once again, I have a totally different, first off, I love crypto. I love what it's going to do for our future. I think all the things like digital currency, the, NFTs, the DeFi space, obviously it's molding the future. But once again, my experience in this is very, very simple in the
Yes.
idea of so just to answer the person that's as how do we get to 250,000 or whatever. At this point, I'm done answering that question, and I'm not here to like, I guess, convince anybody anything anymore, right? So, and not to be like come off a certain way, but you'll get that question even at 100K next month, right? How are we going to get to this or this or this? How, like if you can't see the writing on the wall at this moment of what's going on around you, then whatever, that's fine. Stick around. Keep, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it goes to 80 or however the case may be. But once again, this is a risky environment that you're taking a risk to get a reward. So you got to pull that trigger yourself in a sense. But I made a post earlier. Let me read it to you in my trading group, because this is like, I think was like the best way to put this right now.
I think I know exactly the post you're going to make, which is what I was hoping you would say. Yeah.
Right. So I put this out literally an hour ago. I said, remember this, because I have a lot of people joining, and I'm just wanting to be clear. The elites are gearing up to dump their bags in January. They need a ton of buyers to offload, right? It's no coincidence that every bullish news catalyst possible in this planet is getting introduced to the public daily. Every major company is getting involved with NFTs. Facebook is becoming Meta. It's all by design. Where was all this marketing back in May, right? So that is as simple as it is, right? It really is that simple. The powers that be. You think back to the gold rush. You think back to the diamond mines and all this. Hey, man, if you're any older than 12 years old right now, you had the chance to buy Bitcoin at pennies. Mm-hmm. You had the chance. You had the chance to buy Bitcoin at 6 cents, at $1, at $1,000 at the top, at $20 at the bottom, at 20,000 at the top, at 3,000 at the bottom. You have the chance right now to get in at 60,000 right now. You'll have it at 250K. You'll have it at 50K, and then you'll have it again in 2 million. If you listen to that strand of time, what is going on is that is pricing out the little guy along the way, right? Because you can't get the people. The elites are literally buying and selling the same thing back and forth to us over and over again. The underlying asset is getting higher in value. You quit on it because you buy it high and you sell it low. All in all, the thing is growing in value over time. And you look back and say, man, 10 years ago I had Bitcoin at $12,000 and I should have held on to it, or I should have held on to my mana, or this or this or this. But everybody gets wrapped up in the by design system of get rich quick, come on in, buy everything that's up now 100x over the last 2 years, but not buy it 2 years ago, right? And that's the idea. There's none of this marketing, none of this. Once again, the metaverse. How long that takes? How long that has taken to even be put into, like, we never even really heard of that till blows my mind, man. Like, the one question somebody asked me was a couple weeks back, and they said, what do you see in 10 years for crypto? And I'm like, you can't even predict it, right? I would have never predicted that cryptocurrency would metaverse, right? I would have never. You couldn't predict it. You couldn't predict when the internet came out that the iPhone and the smartphone would get the world to where they are, right? So
it's the Stone Age. That's what I tell people. Right. It's the Stone Age right now of blockchain technology. So, but keep going. I mean,
no, I mean that's and that's so to get to where we get to, man, is just how we said earlier too. We're in this position. The hype is absolutely. I mean, we are at a boiling point. I don't know about you, and I already know the answer. I know that every person and their mother is reaching out to somebody or trying to desperately figure out a way to get into crypto, man. I've had the most random family members, family members, friends reach out to me asking me about where they should put their crypto or how they get involved and blah, 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 blah. Dude, it's crazy, right? And we're not even at the all-time high for Bitcoin yet. Imagine we get to that level. And then what will happen is that we get to, back in May, we had 2 months of sideways and corrections and da-da-da-da. Everybody was miserable. All you knew was, Bitcoin only goes down, crypto only goes down. Well, when we get to crypto only goes up here in the next few weeks, and everybody just now joining only knows up season and only has all this exciting news around them. McDonald's is NFT and Burger King and Nike and Metaverse and all this stuff all around them. And they just, oh man, this is an exploding market. And I've already made 10x on my money, because they're going to get to make some money. They're going to get a taste. But then that's how everybody holds the bag at the end. They get a taste of 5x gains, 10x gains. And then you got all this dangling, fundamentals in front of you that give every reason for you to believe it's going to continue higher. And then it's going to be talked about continuing higher, right? Because once everybody's targets are knocked out, once 80K is knocked out, once 100K is knocked out, once my target of 200, my real target is 200, the blow off top is 250. Once 200 and 220 come into play, best believe you just look to the next target. Just like when we were at 30K, you don't believe it at 60. When we get there, well, now you believe 20 is possible. And when we're at 60 right now, you believe 80, but not 100 so much. When we get to 80, you'll believe 100. When we
Yeah.
get to 250, you're going to believe 500. And that's just how it goes. So the people that are coming in to buy up Bitcoin right now, a perfect example is I used to be a food and beverage director at a country club in Naples, Florida, and 5 members reached out to me this week alone wanting to know where to put $300,000 plus in the crypto. Where to put $300,000 right now today on just my recommendation. Where would they put it? So thinking that there's just small money going to flow into this money market, that's foolish, right? There's a lot of big money too that's willing to jump in and be a piece of this. So
yeah,
we'll get there.
There was another post of yours that I read that it was specifically about this question: where's all the money going to come from? And you said everywhere. And I thought that was a great answer. Like everywhere. I remember in December of 2017. I remember it all over Facebook. I remember it like just all over the news and everything like that. And I had lived through that in 2011. I don't know if we've talked about that, but for me, 2011, with silver, I just won't. I'll just say I thought silver was going to $1,000 an ounce, and then it peaked at $50, which was its 1981 peak as well, and I was a bag holder of silver. So I saw all of that, and I wasn't huge into crypto at the time. I had some. But I more so was focusing on my business at the time to try to get it to where it is now. And so I just remember I wish that I had something, some kind of social media presence because, I was just like, man, this is insane. It's going to crash really hard. Don't buy right now. But trust me, my voice would have been drowned out by everyone else's. I mean, you remember that. You lived through that much more intensely than I did. Nobody would have listened to me at that time, and now I think more so. There's going to be people because I remember in January. I remember when Bitcoin was at $30,000, and I was like, "Hey guys, buy Bitcoin. It's going to go much higher over this year, or buy Ethereum, buy whatever else." And there were people back then being like, "Dude, it's at $30,000. It's an all-time high. It's going to crash just like it did in 2017." And I wish that I could have convinced those people. I mean, there were people telling me like, I'm going to cry. I'm going to, grown men like me are going to cry many tears when Bitcoin goes down to 4 figures again. And it's like, come on, you have no idea about these cycles, and you need to do your better research. But like, there's going to be more voices this time. But at the same time, the impulse, the difficulty of like, all right, it's at $200,000. Can it go? Or even not even. Let's not even talk about $200,000. It's at $120,000. Oh no, is this the peak, or can it go higher? Maybe this is my price target, $120,000. I'm going to sell, or no, maybe I'm not going to sell. And once it gets, if and when it gets to my price target, I'm not selling. We've talked about this, but like, let's just say for a different cryptocurrency, that cryptocurrency gets to where I thought it was going to be. I'm very unlikely to sell all of it. I am.
Yeah.
Even I would venture to guess that I probably sell about 25%. Even these price targets that I've been talking about all year and really haven't changed any of my price targets. It's going to be difficult to sell at that time. And so I've got to discipline myself, and I've been doing it in small chunks lately. Polkadot. I sold a little bit of my Polkadot yesterday, and people can tell me, yeah, I know all the big stuff coming up with Polkadot. I understand, but I sold a little bit just to take some profits. I sold a little bit of my Mana on Saturday just to take some profits, and I actually had some bills to pay since I'm cash poor. So anyway, it's going to be an interesting time. I think a lot of things that people are thinking in their minds right now, when we get to those days, some of it's just going to be they're going to throw it out the window, and being disciplined is going to be difficult. So
yeah, I like I said, man, I'm not over. I'm just not here to convince anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So I put the information out there for long, long, long. And have I been right all the way? Absolutely not, right? We're not going to be. You and I are in this with everybody just as much as
Mm-hmm.
they are, right? We had some experience more than others, less than others. It is what it is. Um, but I've been here. You've been here the whole time, right? We don't just show up when the market's good, right?
Yeah.
So the most active I was even during May, and since then I've had like ban after ban on my my main account, all
Oh
this and
yeah.
all that. But all in all, man, I've been here the whole way. Red days, green days. Started doing live streams. You do live streams every single day. Um, there's something to be said about that kind of character, I guess, in the space. Which once again, like, it doesn't matter if we're right in that sense or whatever, but we'll figure it out with everybody along the way. There's a lot of reason, and I give like analytical reasons to why I see a $250,000 or 200
Mm-hmm.
200 specifically. 220 I would really bet on, and then 250 high side. But mana, you just brought that up. Regardless of Bitcoin, it doesn't matter, right? For you, it does, because I know you hold it, but you're not going to sell it, so it really doesn't. So I'm not in Bitcoin at all. I have zero
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin. I have zero Ethereum. I have some long positions in Bitcoin, but just small ones, low leverage from 40, 41. And I just took one the other day when we hit the daily EMA of 59-ish, 60K. And at 70K, I'm dumping those anyways, just to drop them into more altcoin positions. The altcoin market, what is coming up? If you thought what happened with Mana over the weekend,
Yeah.
a 5x gain on a Coinbase coin that was not a pump from a whale group, if you thought that was interesting, just wait till this entire market looks like that in weeks, not days, not months, not years.
Yep.
This is coming to a altcoin near you. It doesn't matter what you're in, the low caps, the large caps, whatever. Everything in this market is going to explode, right? So Bitcoin tops, doesn't matter, right? Like, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what, we're looking at altcoins rallying for at least another month anyway. So it's going to be a great altcoin time regardless. To me, it's just going to be fun to see where Bitcoin tops out around. So
Yeah.
I would imagine, I do imagine actually more so than anything that we're going to do what I showed you earlier, where I don't necessarily feel super confident about hitting 100K ish by Turkey Day, right? That was my going little tag.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still considering it. Once again, I don't care. Like, Bitcoin just needs to succeed so that the altcoins can keep going too, right? That's just the
Yeah.
idea at the moment. Like, the other thing is that you got to realize that the altcoins only do what Bitcoin allows them to do, right?
Yep.
Bitcoin is the king of the market. So you need Bitcoin to short term so that it can drop all the dominance, right? So all the altcoins can rally. So it's not a bad thing to see Bitcoin take a rally and the altcoins chill for a minute. At this point, we're in November. It's go time anyways. But I'm going to flip this around real quick. So this is that altcoin market as a whole, right? On cup and handle, whatever. This is a super bullish pattern right here, right? That
Mm-hmm.
essentially is breaking out, right? We're not necessarily closing it out 100%. And I have these two lines here because technically I was looking at this being the all-time high, but there might be a daily, I don't know, a wick up here. Regardless, it's good to go, right? But what I want to show you once again, for all the people that hate previous data, let me remind you of what we dealt with in 2017 at this exact time of the year. So we had this very similar pattern right here in all the altcoins, right? And right here is November 1st, boom, boom, boom. And then you can see where we went to from there, right? So we kind of trended sideways from September to November 1st. And from there, you had the mother of all altcoin seasons back in the day, right? Up until about January 5th, 6th, right? That's when most altcoins topped. Ethereum topped on the 12th. Well, this is exactly what you can expect over the next 2 months, right? And it's not just like over the next couple months, you only get, 10% gainers here and there. I don't know if you paid attention to Coinbase over the last, 2 or 3 days, but there's been 200% gainers
Mm-hmm.
daily on Coinbase. That is just a taste. That is also not normal, right? We don't see that kind of movement in Coinbase ever, right? Even in the height of like altcoin season earlier on in the year, right, when everything was running, we didn't have Matic on there yet and all this and all that. So this is exactly what is coming for the altcoin holders over the next just literally 60 days. Mother of all altcoin seasons, I guess, is probably even a term I take lightly, but that's exactly what's coming.
Yep. Yeah. So exciting. Um, Man, so I'm curious about a couple more thoughts. I'm
Yep.
thinking through a bear market buying guide. I've told people on my live streams that I'm putting together a bear market buying guide, and I'm thinking through the kind of exposure. I have a decent plan in place throughout the bear market to buy certain cryptos, um, pretty much spread out pretty far. But then I'm looking at cryptos that have been created in the last few years that have not yet experienced a bear market. But then I'm thinking about new cryptos that will be created between this bull run and the next bull run. So like looking at Solana. Solana, since it was created, has done something crazy like a 300x. Quant has done like a 200x, and I'm trying to think through what to do as far as buying cryptos that have already been established in the bear market versus trying to get into some of those like a Solana or Quant. But there's probably also plenty that were created that were launched in the bear market that have sucked. So
Right.
any thoughts based on the last few years on that?
So what time frame though are you talking about to
Yeah.
like start picking stuff up, right? Because
Yeah.
we talked about this a little bit before, and my answer to that initially is I don't know, right? So
Sure.
because of that same reason, like last time we saw, but let me point out why, right? So this is the thing that we're all going to deal with too pretty quick is that once again 2017 there was no talk of the word bear market. You didn't even hear about it, realize it, see it coming, whatever, until you were 8 months into it almost, right? So that is going to be exactly where we're at, I believe, at the time that we top here in January, whatever. I mean, like the power of this time is different, is very, 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 very strong, and it works
Yeah.
every time, right?
Yeah.
So it worked back in May, right? The majority of people, oh, the bull run's over because this time is different, right? It's blah, blah, blah. So I'm selling out, I'm leaving crypto, blah, blah, and now I'm buying back in at 100% above where I sold out at the loss. That this time is different will come into play, right? We'll hit whatever the case may be, 120, 150, 200, wherever it is. But then we'll stroll into January, February, and we will probably have that lengthening cycle, I think is what everybody's going to funnel into, right? Because that's the next. You got your $80,000 blockchain backer target. You got your $100,000 BitBoy target. You got your $250,000 US target. Multiple others. Once those get cleared for a few days, then you're going to work. And don't get me wrong. When you get a 250,000 hit, 220,000 hit, it's not just like straight bear market after that, right? So.
Yeah.
From there, the whatever lengthening cycle is going to be the talk. I can smell that a mile away, right? So, and this is 2018 right here. So this is where we topped in. No, it's not. Sorry. Loop. So with that being said, right, this is 2017. Yep. You have a ton of time to actually, accumulating wise, you probably want to wait till, somewhere in this realm, which is like, a year and a half later in the idea. And once again, this is previous data. I understand it's not going to be the exact same as this, but this is what we experienced right after we topped. You got this pullback right here, which once again, I don't know if you remember that fractal I showed you where if this happened today, this would put Bitcoin at 135 in December, and 135 is Plan B's December target. So just picture the market looking like this, right, in December coming up, and we get 135, and we hit our 250 target. Where's everybody going to think? Oh, we're probably going to continue higher, right? Now it's going to extend several more months. Plan B's been nailing it. We hit 250, so the next target's 500. Obviously, and then it changes from there. But what I wanted to point out is that you have all this, even before, you picked up Cardano at the bottom at 3 cents, you went through this long time frame where this is a 67% move to the upside. I don't know if you guys can see that. But that was in, the first month or a couple of weeks after the bottom. You got all of these right here. This is like 150% move or 100%, whatever. And that kind of lasts until you get to like sometime in this range. This is that one time frame where nothing moved more than $100 for like 3 months. Yeah, everybody thought that was the bottom, picking up everything, and then you had one last 50% pullback, right? Just one last stab in the face. So this is November It's 5 months right here, right? This is the low area that you want to be looking at, right? This is the quants at the 200x level 2 years later. This is Solana 200x level 2 years later. This is that like kind of time frame you want to get into. Will it be the exact same time frame? Probably not, but just something like that. But you'll have probably a good year at least, and we'll probably at least battle till this point, with everybody thinking that, because once again, let me cut this up a bit. You're probably going to at least battle till this point, which was February, March, to where you're going to think we're going to continue higher. Because even in this, in this lengthening cycle type thing, because right here you can make this into a bull flag, something similar
Yeah.
like this. I feel like would show up into the market, and then everybody's going to be looking to continue higher, right? Blah blah blah. It's going to be that way. It was this way before, right? So, my answer to that is I don't know which ones I would get into at this moment, but I think that that'd be a really good thing to start planning, or kind of having. For me personally, maybe we'll work on it together, and then we can make something together. Because like just so, whatever. But yeah, that's a really good idea. But I don't know what it would be, but definitely we'll be trying to pick up. And that's the end goal too. Is like, even though I'm not in Bitcoin and Ethereum right now, I will be picking up Bitcoin for the next cycle. Because if everything works out to the way I'm looking at it, we're looking at a $2 million Bitcoin in 5 years, right? $100,000 Ethereum, and then on top of that, though, once again, the better gainers are always going to be the altcoins as far as gains go. But you're going to want to have some Bitcoin to your name, just for to say you got bricks of gold in the safe versus whatever else is appreciating around you. You're going to probably want to have yourself a Bitcoin.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a regular in my live stream told me to ask you about your quant predictions. But before I say that, I have worked out some thoughts in regards to, it does take about a year after Bitcoin peaks to bottom out. And so there's certain cryptos that I've seen will just flatline straight out. Even a year Bitcoin bottoms out, but then like maybe has a mini mid-cycle run and gets rejected at a certain key level and then goes down some more, but never gets back down to the bottom, which is about a year later. So that's a good time to just, if you're looking to buy for long term, to buy it. But I've noticed also Litecoin bottoms out. There's a good like 6 month trade in there. For me, that's considered a trade. I know for you that's like boring, 6 months, but
no, I mean, like,
yeah. Ethereum as well. There's certain cryptos that I think will rise with Bitcoin, while other ones like Cardano just was like a flat line. Dogecoin, the meme coins are just going to be flat. They're not going to follow that at all. And so there's certain ones that I'm like, okay, I'm buying this 2024, maybe early 2024. Others that I'll probably just buy late 2024, right before things get really heated. But okay,
right.
Somebody says, ask you about Litecoin. I know that your prediction is what, like 2,500 to 3,000. So in general, he's more bullish than I am. People on my live stream. And I hope he's right. I hope that you are right about everything and that I'm wrong about everything. Your quant prediction is also much. I don't have a quant prediction, but if I did, yours would be much higher than mine. So quant.
Yeah, quant. I do have it targeted for another 10x from here, right? So like 3,000, 3 to 5,000, which 5,000 is on the high side, but 3,000, yes, I do have that for quant. So, and then to answer that, like which we're light years away from the bear market too. Like I know we talk about selling out and all this and all that in January, which is my goal, to just capitalize on as much as I can if possible. But then there's a completely different trading strategy that walks in the door for basically February next year, because next year is still going to be just as volatile for at least the first 6 months, right? So, and there's probably going to be like a walk down memory lane. EOS, perfect example. I remember I got into EOS $5 in like February, let's just say, and of 2018 when we were in a bear market, and it rallied to like $22.
That's right. So peaked in April.
That made made new all-time highs in like April, and that's one example. So I mean, there will be some outliers, and once again, it's going to be the things that, thinking back, those were all the tools that people used to make us think that we were not in a bear market or whatever. Everything was coming back, and by the end of the year, and all this stuff. So it'll be a totally different world in that aspect. But I want to show you Cardano real quick because you're right. I was looking at Bitcoin, right? That chart I just showed you where we had whatever, maybe 3 months or something, 4 months. I said, but you're right because after we top and we run down the bear market that first year, even just thinking back, if you picked up Cardano or you were sitting in any altcoin at all, anything, 2019, 2020,
Yep.
you pretty much were flat
Yep.
while Bitcoin rallied several times, right? You had like a rally up to like 14K back to 3, or you had like a rally to 10 back to 3, then 14 back to 3, and so on and so on. And, you know, Bitcoin definitely outperformed all the altcoins for basically till 2021. And in 2021, or maybe the end of 2020, about September, last year, you know, maybe summer of last year is when they started picking up pretty good after they got just destroyed after the March crash. But yeah, like for Cardano, for example, I guess you're right? So like looking at this in a larger this is like a daily chart here. So this, like, let's just say this whole range right here would be the ideal time, right? There's no exact bottom, you know, that you'd probably pick up, but just in general, you get to this time frame. So for this is the November 2018. So this is right when that last final drop kicks in that we saw in Bitcoin. So November of 2018 until really here is when it broke this range. That was November of 2020. So for 2 years, right? People couldn't hold their bag for 2 months back in the summer, and this right here is 2 years of basically the same price action, give or take, right? You might get excited on every pump, right? You get really upset at every dump, but so if you couldn't see that, but this is where you'd want to accumulate. This was Cardano at 1 penny. This is Cardano at, you know, the mid range basically right here was, you know, what, 2 to 4 cents, let's say.
Yep.
So 2 to 4 cents, that was Cardano. Cardano is not peaked yet, right? And this is what also drives my initiative behind the January top. Why the guys who bought this, and girls, right? This is the thing. This wasn't just people like me and you with $2,000, $5,000. This is big money coming in here, scooping up these lows for 2 years, patiently waiting because they don't need it. They don't need $1 million, blah 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 tomorrow. Let's just say from the top of this right here to where we are today, you're up 170, whatever that is, and then, you know, like I said, like it's nuts, man. 47. Oh, Cardano alone, you know, it was 2 cents and then up to $3, you know, target there. So you're at 100x regardless. If you're looking at like $10 and 40, you know, like this is going to be like 500-600x, 1,000x. Like these are major profits that this person 2 years ago is going to be ready to get his return on, right? So that's something to think about. But yes, during the bear market time frame, you know, when you finally get to that flat level in the market, that's when you want to start picking up things. So yeah, I just you made a good point there. I was looking at Bitcoin, which Bitcoin reacts a little differently. So
sure. Well, cool, man. I got to run. I got my first day of wrestling practice for two of my boys, so I'm excited about that.
First day.
Yeah, they're excited.
No worries, man.
Wrestling's the worst.
I'm upset you weren't wearing. I like the jacket, bro.
Oh yeah.
Where's the robe, man?
Yeah,
I want my Litecoin robe.
Robe and pipe next week. I'll make sure to do that. But
it's winter. We got to get our eggnog out. You know?
That's right. Well, cool, man. It's been a pleasure as always. If you're on my live stream, follow CVO. If you're on CVO's live stream, follow me. I'll save the words. So.
Perfect, man. All right, thanks, man. I'll see you again hopefully next week. Take it easy. Enjoy your night.
All right, see you, man.
All right, bye.